Welcome back to the channel, everyone. My name is Devin, and today we're going to be talking about the movie. I just got back from the theater, so let's talk about it. Now in this video, I'll be giving a little bit of a review, giving a plot summary, as well as explaining the ending. Now before we talk about the movie, the reason why I gave this movie 3 out of 5 stars was because basically Gerard Butler was the strongest point of this entire movie. This is not a type of movie that you're gonna leave the movie inspired, find meaning in your life, cry. I didn't really feel that connected to the characters. I just loved the action. It was just a simple action movie, not much character development at all, and you kind of knew what was going to happen. But you knew it was going to be a pretty basic action movie and a fun theater experience. It follows a pilot in their plane on their way to Tokyo. The pilot's name is Brodie Torrance and is played by Gerard Butler. Also, the plane is carrying a fugitive that is being transferred by the FBI. When his plane gets struck by lightning, Brodie and his co-pilot must land the plane. And they had only 10 minutes to land this plane before the battery backup went out. Right away, 2 people died on this plane. The FBI agent was texting someone and got out of his seat when he dropped his phone. The flight attendant tried to get out to help him, and they both flipped and cracked their necks. Somehow, someway, Brodie and his co-pilot Deli are able to land the plane. The electricity on the plane completely shorted when it got struck by lightning. But what they don't know is that they just landed on a war-torn island. And this island is completely run by rebels, and the Philippine government does not mess with it. Supposedly, whenever they sent troops there, they always lost. Now the rest of this movie is very simple, so I'm not going to take a lot of time with this. Basically what happens is Bruce and the prisoner Louis go looking for help. But at this point, Bruce, Jelly, and Louis, who was actually ex-military, knew that this island was full of rebels. Bruce and Louis go and try and find help, and Louis just disappears randomly. Bruce is then able to find a phone and fixes the cables and is somehow able to make a call from the Philippines all the way to the US. Now I have no idea how this call worked internationally from the Philippines to the US, just putting together like broken cables, but I'm not going to go into that. He gets in touch with the airline at first, and the lady doesn't believe him and is like, we've been getting prank calls all day, and she basically hangs up on him. So he then calls his daughter, and when he calls his daughter, she is able to get some information down, but one of the rebels come up and get into a fight with him. Gerard Butler was a badass in this film, and I feel like his character was one of the main reasons why I enjoyed watching this film. After he kills the man, he sees someone coming into the room, and it's actually Louis, and he's just loaded up with machine guns now. They realize that the rebels are going to the plane, so they head back to the plane in a car. They then watch from the bushes as the rebels take the passengers hostage. 2 more passengers were killed here, and I don't know why they tried to run off. They weren't getting anywhere. Before they were taken hostage though, Deli the co-pilot was able to fix some of the electrical system. At this point, Brodie makes another smart move. He writes a note on his captain's jacket with his ID. The note basically said that the passengers were held hostage and Brodie was going looking for them. At this point, the worst airline office team in the world is trying to figure out press releases, what to do, and they finally are managed to get a hold of that phone call. They also got the information from his daughter as well. They're able to send a team of about 5 soldiers that wouldn't be there for a few hours, but a full rescue team wouldn't be there for at least 24 hours. And when the American soldiers finally get there, they find Brodie's message. Now the kills in this movie were pretty awesome. Louis just started going off with a mallet randomly, and that was one of my favorite parts of the film as well. They're able to get to the hostages very easily because the security for these rebels are literally the worst in history. They get the hostages onto a bus, and this is where Brodie says that he's going to sacrifice himself so that they can take the bus to the plane. He thought that the rebels wouldn't kill the captain because they would be able to get something for him. Well, he was really wrong because the guy did not care. Right before he's about to shoot him though, the American soldiers swoop in and kill a bunch of people. The hostages and the American soldiers get on the bus and they head back to the plane. Since Deli the co-pilot had fixed some of the electrical system, they had a plan. The plan was to literally get back into the plane and using the little bit of gas they had left and the little bit of electricity to fly it out of there. Now these American soldiers and Louis literally went off in the scene. The one sniper was literally shooting people through cars and they completely dominated them. The pilot is able to get to the plane and the American soldiers are able to get on board, but Louis decides to take the money and just kind of stay on the island. I don't know what his plan is after this, but he does redeem himself because he shoots the guy who is going to shoot the plane with the RPG. And that's basically it. The plane is somehow able to fly with open doors, half the electrical system gone, no communication, and they land safely in, I believe, a nearby Philippines island that was safe. Now this was an extremely simple movie that could have probably been told in like a paragraph if you were just writing it in a book. But what made this movie worth it was definitely Gerard Butler and just the fighting scenes. Like I said earlier, I gave this movie 3 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd, and you can click in the description to follow me on there for all my latest reviews. Let me know what you thought of the movie Plane, and I'll see you guys in the next video.